man of titanium. Is that right?
Man of iron.
Man of aluminum.
Did you just say aluminum?
Aluminum. It's aluminium, not aluminum. Nah, man, this is man of steel.
Why steel?
I don't know.
Why not platinum?
I don't know. It's a 5-letter word.
Rubies, sapphires, fuck that. Hey everyone, welcome to Off the Chest Podcast. We are doing the spoiler review and discussion for Man of Steel. Now, if you want to check out the quick spoiler-free review where we get straight into the nitty-gritty and the ratings, that link will be posted in the comments below, or in the description box. But I am your co-host Rakesh. I got the co-host Tim.
Hello.
And I got the co-host Perry White Melvin.
Perry White.
Very wide.
Screw you, man.
Hey, Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, fuck him.
Oh.
Yeah. Sup?
Anyway, yeah, we're doing the review for Man of Steel. Now, this is the reboot in the franchise that took place after the original in 1978. Mm-hmm. Now, I got a question I want to ask you guys about that, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Let me just get on with the synopsis. So this takes place very similar to the original first two Supermans, where Krypton is in self-destruction, and in this time, it's because majority of their harvest has been destroyed because of them, using all their resources. Then, now, cool, interesting fact is that turns out that there is no such thing as a real Kryptonian. All Kryptonians are artificially born.
Yeah.
And then,
Like little plants.
much like in The Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually does look like Matrix.
And then we get Jor-El. So we get introduction to the House of El, and Jor-El and Lara, give birth to their son, Cal.
Kal-El.
Cal, last name El. And then, basically, Jor-El, played by Russell Crowe.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, I think he did an outstanding...
great job.
He did a
That's
great
right.
job. Yeah.
Pay respect, bitches.
He goes to inform the councils of Krypton that basically the planet is going to destroy because there's no resources left. The council's saying, no, this is incorrect. And then Zod, General Zod, played by Michael Shannon. If you guys watch Boardwalk Empire, you'd know him from that. He comes to, I wouldn't say to the rescue, he comes to basically destroy. And he and Jor-El pretty much have the same idea. They need to find a new planet for Krypton.
They just have different ways of doing it.
Yeah, they have different ways. Like, Jor-El believes that everyone should be able to seek refuge on another planet where...
Well, not everyone. He feels like all the children should be given another chance.
I thought it was everyone. And then Zod was like, only certain bloodlines can.
No,
Certain houses, yeah.
Yeah, certain... And he's like, by a jury that we dictate.
No, Jor-El wanted it to be that, He said, if they all go over in a mass, they're worried that they'll overtake a planet, or that they'll start, segregation and wars between whatever species is there. That's why he only wanted to send a few over, just the children. That's it. If I remember correctly from the opening scene.
I don't think he really went into that.
Because remember, he never planned to go himself. He only wanted to send his son and all the other kids.
But then... anyway, we're getting off topic on that, but then... you guys know how the story goes. Kal-El then goes to Earth, learns about his abilities, finds out that he's a loner. Well, it's kind of true.
He found out he was a loner 2 ways.
Yeah. And then it's just the first half of this movie is a journey story. A journey of him trying to find himself, find his place in this world, all that nitty-gritty. And then you also get the story of these military people who are exploring in the Arctic, trying to find these ancient ruins that I don't know how they stumbled across this. They just did. And turns out that that's one of Cal's ancestors' ships. And, this is like in Superman 2. Zod gets put into the Phantom Zone. He gets released. He comes back. Now, I want to know the pros and cons from you guys.
What do you want to start with?
Alright. Melvin, you and I, we saw this first. How do you feel about... Okay, so, like, obviously in this movie, compared to Superman Returns, which came out in 2006, one of the biggest criticisms that people were giving that movie is that there wasn't enough action, there was no fighting. I mean...
It's because he had nothing to fight.
Yeah.
It's like, all he did was push rock.
Rocks.
That's all he did.
Rock and plane.
Yeah, rock in a plane. Now, in this one, there certainly is a lot of action in this one. How do you feel about that?
Look, yeah, everybody wanted more action from a Superman film. They finally got it.
Yeah.
But that's the trouble with Superman. Everybody wants to see him duke it out the way that your guys' favorite Spidey and Batman does. You know? But that's because whoever Spidey and Batman fight, they can fight someone of similar overall strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas you've made... the dickhead that made Superman, I fucking hate him, by the way. The dickhead that made Superman made him absolutely
Overpowered.
fucking invincible.
Yeah.
So obviously it's hard to find people to go toe-to-toe with him, you know? He's constantly going to be saving people. That's what you see him do. He saves buses, planes. He saves people dropping out of the fucking sky every day. That's what he does, you know?
That's a more established Superman. I think it's integral to mention in this one. This isn't him being Superman yet.
Yeah.
This is the story of how he is becoming
Becomes, yeah.
Superman. So, in terms of the action, I felt like definitely within the second half, I was like, okay, calm down.
Yeah, it just went over the top really fast.
Now, Tim, you got any pros or cons for this as well?
In terms of what?
Also in terms of the action.
All overall film.
Overall
And-
film.
and the-
Start with pros or cons. Pick
Yeah.
which one you start with.
There was actually, I reckon, there was too much action. But then again, like you guys said, he's really way too overpowered. And when you couple that with people of his same race,
Yeah.
that's why there's so much destruction. And a lot of it was unnecessary. I feel he could have like easily pushed someone into like a less populated area
Yeah.
to do battle, rather than
Okay,
in
since...
Metropolis.
Yeah, so going with cons.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah.
Tim, you got a list for this shit, right?
I've got a quick con I just want to mention with that is
Yeah.
that okay, so the point of in the original Superman, and this has also been I think it's been outlined in the comics, is that his villains find out that his greatest weakness is humanity, right, and saving mankind.
Yeah.
And in this one, with all the destruction and everything that's happening, and he's pushing people through buildings, it didn't seem to me like he was concerned with saving people's lives. It was more like, especially at the part in Metropolis in the third act. I mean, I thought that, with Feora, Zod, and I can't remember who the other person was.
The big dude. No.
Yeah, the big dude.
yeah.
That they were actually chasing Kal-El around. I didn't understand why it didn't occur to him to get up and kind of leave leave that area that they're in.
Yeah, you and me had this discussion. I mean, it works both ways. Yeah, he should move the fight, but to be honest, he at that point he was a young superhero.
Yeah.
He was more concerned with beating the shit out of people. You know, that he didn't have the mentality. You know, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Later on, he's Superman and he thinks things through. You know, he's like, okay, I got to save people. Right now, he's like, villain,
Yeah.
beat the fuck out of you, mate.
No, but if you think about it, before this part in the film, he is working to help people, like on the
Yeah.
oil rig and everything. He's actually set his mind.
But they show him as a kid with a lot of pent up rage that he wants to take out. Like he wants to hit kids. He hates
Yeah.
being picked on. Like he wanted, like, honestly, this was therapy for him.
Yeah, like, I felt like, okay, by the end of this, right at the end, that's when he becomes Superman. Now, I want to ask you guys how you feel about the story on this.
Oh god, this is my major con. All right. Now, there's two words that came to mind when this movie came out. Now, all the other Superman films that were before it, fuck them. We don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
That was the whole point, right?
Mm.
So the first film is your two words, origin story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't fucking get it. Now, you guys might argue the point with me and the whole point that they showed so much of Krypton and all of that, but that was all for Zod's sake. That was all prepping your villain. And I know prepping your villain has become a huge thing these days. You know, the villain he is the main supporting actor these days, you know?
Yeah.
It's usually the sidekick of the hero, but nowadays the villain is your main supporting actor. He's the one that gets the second most screen time. But the story of Superman, and an origin story especially, has to start with him learning how he got his powers, learning how to use them. And yeah, they showed it kind of really brashly. You know, I was pissed off that they only showed him trying to learn how to fly in the ice caps. You know, apparently 30 years later, he's like, why don't I try learning how to fucking fly with a suit? You know? The hearing thing was good. They don't show how he discovered his super strength. They don't even show glimpses of his super speed or how he got his eyes. You know,
Thought
they might show a glimpse of his eyes.
The eyes when
On
he was
the
a kid.
doorknob.
Yeah, and the doorknob. Yeah. But overall, like, even when he lands on Earth, you know, all of a sudden his ship's there, and you zip forward 8 years, and he's a kid. You know, his parents have already moved the damn thing down into the basement somehow. You know, they've accepted him as his son. He's like,
Yeah,
oh
like,
yeah.
You don't even get to see them like take
Yeah.
him out or anything.
You don't even get to see his parents' reaction when they discover his
Yeah,
powers.
yeah.
They think, okay,
He's
sick,
normal.
kid.
Yeah.
We'll help raise him. Next thing you know, he's fucking lifting cars, and they're just like, oh yeah, we discovered that 5 years ago. Whatever, mate. I know they're not Australian or anything, but yeah,
Well, I don't know with Russell Crowe.
yeah. Well, he's biological father.
He's biological Aussie.
Yeah, but to me, this wasn't an origin story at all. Like, yes, we all know Superman's story. We all know how he was raised. But when you reboot a franchise,
You have to restart the whole thing.
yeah. Now, when I walked out of the film, I went to the bathroom and two guys were talking, and they were like, "I hope they said they were talking to myself." And I know it's weird. I'm listening to this, right? While taking
In
a
the
piss.
bathroom.
I was taking a piss, right? But they were like, "This is for Superman. What Batman Begins is to Batman," and that shat me off.
That pissed me off too.
No. Don't get me wrong. This is like technically this is a much bigger film. It got much bigger reception. It warranted a sequel like straight away compared to Batman Begins. But what Batman Begins did right, what even the reboot of the Spider-Man series did right, is that they revisited all the origin. You know, with the reboot of Spider-Man, they didn't brash over his relationship with Uncle Ben at all. You know,
Yeah.
they revisited
They
the
redid
entire
it.
thing.
Yeah.
In this, they brashed over his entire relationship with his dad. If you see the scenes, they're so quickly cut. It's like 10 seconds with his dad. I feel like Kevin Costner was just blurting out his lines to get paid.
It felt more like in this, like when he's with Kevin Costner. Oh, by the way, that's who playing Jonathan Kent. In this film, it just felt like it was only anything and everything relevant. It
Yeah.
wasn't anything else. Like one of the things
It is some of the worst emotional scenes I've seen. Like every scene with him is meant to be emotional. You know, they're showing bonding experiences, and it's like done in 10 seconds. Like, am I your son? Yeah, of course you're my son. Okay, cool. You know, like
and then cut to the next emotional
Yeah.
plot.
Yeah.
But I just want to quickly get into that. Is because okay, for a lot of this movie, I am gonna kind of do a little bit of a comparison to Batman Begins, only because this is done by the same writer that did Batman Begins. So I felt like in that film, you know, it was much more subtle when they were doing things with Bruce and his father in Batman Begins. But in this one, it was very direct, to the point, and I felt like less could have been more.
Yeah.
You substitute your action, you put in more talking.
Yeah.
That's something that, like, moviegoers like us, we enjoy it. But, like, for others...
No, it's not about that. It's about, look, when they reboot, Batman Begins was a technical reboot. The new Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, was a technical reboot. The first film has more talking than any of the other films because that is when you have a setting. You know, you have to set the damn
To
story.
create the whole thing.
Yes, exactly.
In the first
Like,
movie.
Tim, I know you know films like this, right?
Yeah.
And you know how important it is to set the story in your first film, regardless of how much action comes in. You know.
Because then, if they don't, then the second and
Yeah.
subsequent films have to pick up the slack that they'd forgotten.
Yeah,
to.
like-
Your second film is your major action film when
Yeah.
you always set your damn story out.
I felt like it kind of, it opened the ball and it kind of dropped the ball. Now, I'm just going to explain what I mean by that. When I mean that they kind of had an opportunity, like opening the ball, had a few opportunities. They had a few opportunities in the scenarios that they were presenting. Now, this movie has a lot of action and subsequently a lot of destruction. That could have warranted the fact that, like, you know, and even throughout this movie, the military are going, we don't know if we can trust you. How can we trust you? You know, at any point you could become a supervillain as well. So, they could have taken, like, they needed to have more precautions, in fact.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, at the end of Batman Begins, how I felt that was a pretty good ending, where he's showing him the Joker card. And he's like saying, you know, this is possibly of something to come.
Yeah.
I felt this movie could have ended in a similar note, where they could have said something about, like, how, look at all this mass and destruction. Who's going to come in to repair Metropolis? Oh, maybe Lex Luthor could come into this. And
Yeah.
just, like, not so much even need to show him, but mention him.
Yeah.
At least mention... and then there was a cool thing, like how Zod, how he's taking off his battle armor. He's not ripping it off. And you notice that in a few of these close-up shots, His arm is still there. That could have been something cool as well. And I don't like an origin movie to, for it to leave all these gaps because they know that they can get a sequel. I don't like that. You need to make a tight film.
Its own complete
It
film.
needs to be something complete. Don't leave it like... This is something that they did in a little bit of Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man one, because they had already announced 2 and 3, and now they've announced 4. And so they left certain plots open. But this one, it was more like...
No, but like...
But
They left forthcoming plots open. I'm talking about backstory. Like, here's the thing. They didn't explain entirely all about his childhood. They explained all about Peter's childhood, It was fairly straightforward.
Pretty much.
Dad dies, he has to live with his parents. He becomes an outcast. It was pretty straightforward. He didn't become anything special until you were watching him. Superman became special and you barely fucking saw it.
Yeah.
I felt like... Yeah, I agree with you. I really do agree with you on that. But I felt like also just... For some other people, like they've seen the show Smallville, they've seen the other Superman. Like,
what about like 8-year-olds?
Look, I know. Hold on, Melvin. Just let me get through
New
this.
generation, man.
Yeah.
I know that, but they're trying to foreshadow it with stuff about the past by just only showing relevant things. I'm not disagreeing with you. I felt like for older people who are seeing this film, they understand that. I'm not forgiving the movie in any way of doing this. It's just because I know you're going to come back at me with saying like, oh, but this, and this. I understand that. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I just felt like the interpretation that this story wasn't trying so much to focus on it. And that for me was a big flaw. Like, okay, there was a good portion where Superman did become one of my favorite heroes. This is until they rebooted the Batman franchise, and they, and they destroyed it with Batman and Robin. But for that good portion of time, Superman was a cool hero for me. And did they kind of drop the ball? Yeah, they did. But in a lot of aspects, for me in this film, I felt like they achieved something good. They now I want to quickly mention with you guys. Did you guys notice the Easter eggs that were in this movie?
Just one. Just the
Okay.
LexCorp truck.
Yeah, so there was a LexCorp truck, and then there was a cool action scene with Zod and Superman in space, and then Superman or Zod throws a satellite at one or the other, and it's actually a piece of Wayne tech. Yeah. So I think that's setting up things in a neat little way.
Batman's like, you son of a bitch!
Well, that's what kind of gets him to say, hey... What happened to my satellite, bro? The fuck? Now, do you want to go on to the main controversy of this film, Melvin?
The main controversy?
Well, like, the part that has people talking the most.
Which is?
Like, negatively?
The ending.
The ending.
Okay, so, as you guys know, this is the spoiler film. In the last action fight with Zod and Kal-El...
Yeah.
When they're fighting each other, Kal actually kills Zod.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's flawed as hell. He's meant to be immortal to bone breaking. Fucking hell. Even if it's your neck snapping. Look, here's how you need to see it. Like, people are like, oh no, he's Superman, he can do anything. They're the same fucking thing. They're both Kryptonian.
They're both Kryptonian.
So if someone snaps Superman's neck...
Oh, wait. He's natural birth Kryptonian. Sorry.
It's barely a difference. Look, if someone snaps Superman's neck... and you put him in the sunlight, bam, he's back alive, he's back to normal. Same thing could happen to Zod. And it should have. He shouldn't have died from his neck being snapped. If you could, like... I would have preferred it, and it sounds stupid, I would have actually preferred it if, like, Superman, like, either, like, freeze-breathed him and just froze him, or just, like, eye-beamed him and vaporized him.
Which he never showed in this film, the ice breath.
Yeah, that shut me off, too.
It's like, aw.
But
you're like, man, Superman's too overpowered. Wait, why doesn't he use all his powers? What the hell?
No. The ice breath shits me off because that's his one power which isn't destructive.
Yeah.
It's the one power which could really come in handy.
I felt like, on that last scene when Zod's using his laser eyes and he's trapped that family, like, for me, I felt like, he could have... Why didn't he just fly up with him?
What I thought was... in the next instant he manages to break his neck. What doesn't he have that strength to just move his head in another direction when he's eye beaming the family?
Doesn't he have the strength to put his hand in front of his eyes?
Goddamn Superman!
You fucked up, Soups. You fucked up. How'd you guys feel about Amy Adams playing the role of Lois Lane?
She's an okay Lois Lane. I felt like she was a little too jittery, but
What do you mean jittery?
just a little too active, a little too pumped up. She wasn't like
Yeah.
I didn't find her to be 100% serious reporter.
Oh, when you're trying to say in the sense of like a serious reporter, I felt like overall this is the most serious type of Superman we've gotten.
Yeah, I know, but like every time she's around Superman, she's kind of jittery. Like she feels like a schoolgirl. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's understandable and all, but it's like it's a little done over.
it's
too
like
much.
He's a pretty boy.
yeah, he's extremely handsome.
Oh god.
You guys want to do a section on this later?
Hell yeah! Oh fuck off, Henry Cavill.
No, but
I felt also just with Henry Cavill in this, he did a great Superman. He did a great Cal. I felt like he was too serious though. There wasn't enough points of like enough points of him being not humorous but like showing another side to him. But I understand that this is the story of him becoming Superman. Like, so
Yeah.
he doesn't need to show an alter ego just yet.
Like the drone he breaks at the very end.
yeah.
That's a lot of government money. And he just
That's $12
wastes.
million. Well, did you know that the damage that he caused in Metropolis was over $900 billion? And yet the general's like, oh, you broke a $12 million. It's like, I broke hundreds of billions of dollars. And just to that fact, with all this action and all this destruction, it pissed me off. Because this is a movie that's trying to... Okay, it's not realistic, but they were trying to make it so grounded and in such a fact of realism. And, you know, things like, especially after September 11, and then now you see, like, buildings collapsing, ash everywhere. Like, it kind of hit me in another... I was like...
Nah, you can't use that pussy excuse, man. You see
Yeah.
that in
What?
other films. Because you didn't feel that way on Transformers.
Well, Transformers...
They were destroying the fucking city, weren't they?
Transformers, I
They
didn't feel
fucking
like...
took the damn cube into the fucking city.
With Transformers, I felt very differently because that was just, like... That was completely retarded.
There was Michael
No.
Bay.
This one tried to show a serious side to things. And like, with the first half of this movie, they were showing a seriousness to it. And then when you get into full retard, as they did in the... as you do in the third act of this movie, that's jarring for me because it's like... I don't want to see buildings and stuff like... I know with you guys, you don't... Like, it's even in Avengers and... Okay, so Transformers, I didn't think of it... I didn't think of this factor at all. Avengers, I thought of this factor kind of jokingly around.
Yeah.
Because this is trying to take a serious tone. I thought, no, there are people around.
In every building, yeah.
And it pissed me off that not once was the loss of people recognized.
Yeah, he just
Even-
kept going.
Even in Avengers, they have a quick scene where they're showing like a memorial board of all these people that died.
Like right at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in other movies that have mass destruction, mass death, they go, we honor the things. Like Star Trek Into the Darkness, right at the end, Captain Kirk, he's saying, we honor the memories of those who
Yeah,
died.
they have some form of mourning.
Yeah. And even in the Batman films, they, in some way, like, End of Dark Knight, they're going, okay, now 5 people died, this many people died, how are we gonna, something, there are ramifications.
What was funny was Russell Crowe was like to Henry Cavill, he was like, you can save them. You can save all of them.
Yeah.
Quote to quote, man. I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna spin around the world in reverse time. Okay, I get it.
Oh,
Doesn't
God.
happen.
If that was gonna happen, I would have stood up. Fuck this shit. I'm out, bitches. I agree with you on that. He's like how Lois Lane is falling into space. You can save her. You can save them all. It's like
They're just staring at her fall. to save her.
I can't save that ass. Oh.
Speaking
Okay.
of that, how'd you guys feel about her action sequence?
I actually really enjoyed her action sequence. I felt
I reckon she was a bit too much of an expert in that scene. With the first time she picks up an alien weapon, she can
Well,
use it.
she was looking at it for a while, and she was like, "What the hell?" And then
If you looked at an assault rifle for a while, you wouldn't realize
well,
you need to take off the safety.
no. You take the
At zero recoil.
you take the basic principle of a weapon,
Yeah.
and I felt like they used the basic principle enough of having a military styled weapon that fires fire
Yeah.
and that kind and it's plasma, so it's
But
not
It's not like
like-
she knew it was a single round.
No,
It could have
yeah.
been like a machine gun.
yeah
For
like
all she knew.
but that's just the way that things fell into this film. Like you can't argue what was
And
when
her
what is.
aim was perfect.
Oh, dude. You already know I have an issue with the gravity in that shit. When
You do?
Yeah, when Superman gets he gets captured in there, right?
Mm.
And he becomes normal again,
Like weak.
right?
Because it's
so there has to be a fair amount of gravity in that ship. So she should have been crushed. Her body should have been crushed. Then
it's just
and then-
the
and then you-
atmosphere.
it's just atmosphere. I
Yeah.
didn't think they were saying anything about
okay,
gravity.
so screw that. And when they change to Earth's atmosphere, right?
Uh-huh.
And Superman gets all his powers back.
Uh-huh.
Lois can move around, whatever, do what the fuck she wants. Shouldn't all the other Kryptonians have super abilities back? Or their suits should be able to move them as quickly as they used to? How can she just move at human speed and just shoot them one by one? When they were going toe to toe with Superman
I thought
on
that- I
fucking
thought-
Earth, on Earth's atmosphere, down on Earth, in
Wait,
those suits.
she was shooting them when they were on Earth?
No.
When
You know how they were in, those two people came down to Earth, to Smallville,
yeah.
and they were deucing it out with Superman in those suits, right?
I felt like they were doing it at normal speed. Like as in
Well, they were the same speed as
relative relative speed to him.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were doing the action like
So
in,
in the ship, when they return the atmosphere to Earth's atmosphere,
Earth's atmosphere
Yeah.
on the
so
ship.
shouldn't they be able to do that super
They should
speed
still
shit
be
again?
just as
So shouldn't
fast.
she just be like, she can't just turn.
She should be
shoot.
missing them.
Yeah.
Like,
They should
shouldn't
they should see her dead.
they shouldn't be that slow.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're looking at me for this. It's like
You're defending the film as much as you can.
I feel like I have to be. No one
Yeah, you
else
kind
is
of
here.
do. I have to admit, you kind of do with the shit we're giving it. Actually, Tim has some really good shit about this film. Good.
Oh, yeah.
I-
Right.
This is like the worst nitpick of all time.
Oh god.
Right, you know when he learns his origins from his dad, the AI, on the ship that he
Uh-huh.
hijacks?
Yeah,
In the
yeah,
ice
yeah.
place.
Right, you know how his dad makes him that suit? His Superman suit is of Kryptonian, right?
I think I know where you're going with
On
this.
not
Krypton,
your
what
thing.
do they wear on Krypton?
Isn't that
Black, silver, grey, armored. He gets this nice spandex, vibrant blue and red suit.
He's pissed off with the colors.
Let's not forget that outpost ship was put there 18,000 years ago.
Yeah.
That could have been the style that they were already fashion, baby, fashion.
20,000 years ago, red and blue.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
I can't stay for the better.
Oh, God.
Yeah, like thing with that, I didn't feel like that was as much of something that I recognized. Like, and I mean this with all honesty.
It's
that
nitpicking.
Yeah, it's different.
that is nitpick. It's like saying, how did he know that 18,000 years ago that someone that from the House of L would be there and fit that exact
Fit that
size?
exact, yeah, exactly.
It could be stretchy, man. Spandex.
One of the things I noticed is also in that outpost ship is that the capsules that were there, how
Yeah.
there were all these dead ones, and then there was one that was open. Maybe somebody was there and escaped. Could be another story plot.
Was it?
Something, yeah.
Or they got lazy and forgot to shut it down.
No, there was one that was opened, and I think it could be some kind of a story for other people. There's a few more things I want to bring up.
Negatives?
Um,
Oh dear.
We still have positives to go.
well, the thing is, we haven't really gone on any positives. We've
No,
been
that's
saying
what I'm
everything
saying. We
negative.
still have positives left, so
Alright,
get all your negatives out.
No. These aren't negatives. These are more positives.
Alright, so positives.
Um,
Anyone got negatives left?
I'm sure I can think of them later.
They're not using Krypton anymore.
What do you mean?
Like, his weakness isn't Krypton, it's the atmosphere of Krypton.
Oh, one thing I did. Okay, so I guess we're gonna go right into the positives here. One thing I did enjoy is they were creating kryptonite.
Yeah.
In this,
Yeah.
so there is now kryptonite on Earth. I felt like another term of this positive is, as I was mentioning before, is the like these cool little things. It's like how all this destruction, what could come next? There's this armor. We all know that Lex Luthor has battle armor, and that's what he uses to fight Superman. I felt like everyone's performance in this was great. Not for once I felt like anyone was really bad acting, especially at the start with Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, he rocked.
That's right.
Well, one thing that was really funny is in the opening scene where Zod's coming to destroy the council,
Yeah.
and then Russell Crowe is like, "What is this? This is madness!" And I was like, "Madness! This is Krypton!" That was really cool. I kind of did want more Russell Crowe though.
Nah, I think they're using really. It's Superman. It's not Jor-El. You know, it's not called Jor-El.
Did they save the key that Superman had? His L key, the House of L key.
Because that flew into the terraformer.
Yeah.
One thing is okay. So you get the actors, the military actors that went and on a collision course
Yeah.
into the thing. Did they also go to the Phantom Zone? Or did they
Yeah.
die?
Well, they'll die in the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, but did they die upon impact, or were they warped in already?
Does it matter?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they'd get warped and then die. I
They
mean, she
die
could-
there anyway.
yeah, they would die. Now something who I really liked. Michael Shannon was really good, but I felt like Fiora, she did a really good part in this film.
She was the villain, female short
Yeah,
chick, right?
Yeah.
she was the I'd say second villain. Yeah,
Yeah.
the second villain to this. I felt like she was really great in this film. Like, she did a little bit more talking and stuff than General Zod did. I mean, every scene that you see Michael Shannon, he's just screaming. It's like, oh god.
For Krypton!
Wait, guys, where's Andrew gone?
Uh,
I will find him. I will find him!
Yeah, no, look, I really respect Michael Shannon. He's coming out with a new movie this year called The Iceman. I reckon it's going to be one of the best movies this year.
I also thought he was good in Premium Rush.
Oh, dude, he's good in Revolutionary Road.
He's also really good in Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
Tim, you're going to interject something that you like about Michael Shannon?
yeah, no.
Um,
I really liked him in Man of Steel.
I thought Lawrence Fishburne did a good job in this.
I thought that was pointless having him.
Because you have Perry White in the films.
I
He's the head
honestly
of the Daily Planet.
like having him there. Like for the few scenes with Lois, made sense. When they're in the city and he's trying to help his coworkers
Yeah.
out of the rubble, I'm like, fuck off, man! I don't care about you.
Is that something
I wanna get-
Superman's supposed to be doing?
I want to get back to
Like,
the
he's-
action.
He's the only one helping people. No, you could show everyone helping people, but that'd be a fucking waste of my time, wouldn't it?
I felt like a great scene with that would have been like, you know how he's trying to help Jenny out the rubble.
Yeah.
If there were other humans around, and that's
If there
and no. But I'm saying if there
Oh,
were,
if- yeah.
that could have shown humanity trying to form together to try and strive towards their basic principles. And if like something like Superman saw that, it's like
while Superman's just bashing
Yeah.
people.
no.
No,
like-
that's the whole thing. You have to integrate Superman or Lois into that, and they weren't. Neither of them were
Neither of them
integrated.
were in it, yeah.
So it's like fuck off.
yeah, like I felt like
2.5 hours. You better fucking use my time wisely.
in that. Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Hi.
that's like a B story that's happening while you have your main story that's happening.
Lois is the B story.
No, because her B story kind of just fell. Okay, your C story.
It'd be probably the C story.
Okay, and I'm gonna go back to Batman Begins now. Is in that one you had Katie Holmes, who's doing your B story, and she's there on Arkham Island, stopping the criminals and saving Joffrey. I don't know why she's saving Joffrey, fucking punk. And then you have a C story as well with Jim Gordon.
Doesn't count.
in there.
Doesn't count
No.
because he comes to help Katie Holmes. He works with Batman. They integrate the story. They don't integrate Fishburne that much at the end. He's just fucking there.
He's in a
Yeah, but like
world.
having a set story, having something to do, him having something to do. I felt like
That was pointless.
no.
It was
Yeah,
pointless
yeah.
as shit.
I know it was. I know it was pointless.
The thing-
There should have been more.
yeah.
I'm saying the way they should have done it is in a way
Yeah,
like
they
they
should
did
have
with
integrated,
Jim
yeah,
Gordon.
yeah.
But obviously he's not as big as Jim Gordon.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this Matrix to shit.
Yeah. He's like, are you ready to believe?
Superman, would you like the blue pill or the red pill? It's like, I like both colors. Damn it.
Sweetie, mash them together. Love that color.
No, but you know, Mike, when the trailer came out for this film, my biggest grime was that there's so many things happening. Are they going to fit it all into one film? And they wasted time that way.
Yeah. Okay, so overall, Okay,
Can we go to the positives? Have we done the positives?
no,
Oh,
because
shit.
every time I went to a positive, you two both came up with
No, no,
negatives.
Oh, we
got
never
that.
really went there, like, probably. Okay.
I still got a negative
Really? Go
Oh,
on.
God.
when they were terraforming the planet.
Oh, yeah.
That was like a solid half hour of terraforming. That planet's screwed.
There's a lot of destruction, and I felt like
That would have changed the magnetism in the planet so much.
Hmm.
Atmosphere would have changed regardless.
That's Tim. I'm gonna smack you.
Yeah,
soon.
come on.
You're nitpicking.
Come on.
Alright, now,
Okay,
back,
so-
back to Russell Crowe for a second, because he's my
Okay.
boy, and I get a section on him.
You.
You get a section on him.
Yeah, buddy. Look, the
You
one,
could save him.
the great thing I like
Say
about
them all.
I liked about Jor-El in this one is that they used they showed him. It wasn't just a voiceover in a cave. You know?
It wasn't Fat Brando.
Yeah. You know, like usually they just have a voiceover, and I was like, oh great, they're just gonna use like Russell Crowe's voice in the entire thing. But they actually show him, and I love that scene with Lois's action sequence. Even
When
though
Jaw is there.
when
yeah.
Joy's there, and he's like shutting doors, and he's just like to
Yeah.
your left, to your right, and how like when she takes a turn, he pops out the other way. You know,
Yeah.
He's already there. Yeah.
It's the AI in both ships or 3 ships. I forget how many there are. There's his.
It's 3.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yes.
the one they come on. There's the sentry on the ice caps, and then there's the one he comes on
Yeah.
as a baby. So there's 3 ships. In all of them, except he's not on the baby one. So in the other 2,
His consciousness.
I like
is
his
there,
consciousness.
yeah.
I like the way it works. It looks cool. A little pissed off that he got destroyed off one of the ships. But
Well, no. That's his key, and
Yeah.
he
It's
he
just
was
overriding
uploaded. His
what
data
was
was
in it.
uploaded
Yeah.
into it. So
he's still in the
that
still
key
the
is
key.
still.
L piece.
For all we know, Lois could still somehow have that key, or they could still have that key.
If it survives.
Who's to say that Jor-El completely went? Who's to say that
they shoved that whole thing into Superman. That entire
Codex.
codex. They could shove a bit of Jor-El into him. I'm being serious
That's
here.
wrong. That's so wrong.
it's the DNA of all
Yeah.
of all child Kryptonians. I think. Yeah. Okay, as much as we're all giving the negative for the action,
I didn't give next. I actually liked the action.
Action was.
Action was
no,
cool.
no, you two were saying that there's too much action.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
that's
agree with you on that.
different.
No,
I didn't say there's too much. I never said that. But I like the fact we've always been asking for more action. We got more action. We nitpicked at the ending, about the actual action ending there, but we never nitpicked at the overall amount of action.
Okay,
It
well,
was different. It was nice.
overall, I felt there was too much action. Like
Yeah.
that scene.
Fight scenes or saving scenes or both.
Fine.
No. I really enjoyed the fight scene when they're in Smallville and he's at the IHOP and then he's going through all that
Yeah.
stuff. I really love that scene, and I would have sorry, I would have enjoyed the Metropolis fight more, and this is on my behalf. Just that destruction factor.
Yeah.
I can't take destruction factor
Bit
into
too
that.
much.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, I do love all the things that happen in this. But I got a question for you guys. What makes a movie truly classic and truly great is that it will hold up in, say, 15 to 20 years from now. Do you two both feel that this movie is going to hold up that long?
When I watch this movie again, I will be flipping through the action sequences and when he's saving people. That's what I'll be flipping through.
I'll tell you what, guys. I'm definitely looking forward to this on Blu-ray because this thing was spectacular. It looked gorgeous.
I reckon it popped on 3D. I reckon, like, when everyone left watching it in 3D, I reckon it left that extra impact on the audience. I reckon that's why they liked it so much. Even though they were idiots.
Oh, funny thing, Melvin, is so you know how when we walked out of that very first screening that showed in Brisbane, and how all these people were like, oh yeah, they were all talking about it, thinking they know what they were talking about. I actually saw the movie last night. The same thing happened again. Everyone's a fucking critic, and everyone's actually praising this movie. But here's to show that we're not praising it. Do you guys want to get into ratings now? Or is there anything else that you guys really want to discuss?
Any positives? I like the fact that they didn't use the word kryptonite at all.
Yeah.
That I like. I thought that was really cool. Because it's a slang term now for anyone's weakness. You know?
It was Kryptonian atmosphere. I think that's what they were using.
No. You know, like how people
Kryptonian
like whenever someone has a weakness, they're like, "Oh, that's your kryptonite." You know?
Yeah,
I like the fact that the word
Actually
it
use
didn't
kryptonite.
the actual word because it's become part of modern language. So I like the fact that they didn't use that at all. Otherwise, let's see.
Any other positives?
Any other positives? Oh yeah, I was mentioning this to Tim. During the fight scenes, there was some really good use of camera angles. There's a camera angles where you can see right through like his eye vision, so you see his arms out about, and he's flying towards Zod, and he punches
Then
him,
he
and you can
punches.
see his arms, and you can see what you would see as if you were Superman flying towards Zod, and like the fast pacedness of the action, and like it's a different angle, and I like that they were able to do that. And that's why I thought the action scene was actually shot very well.
There were a lot of action scenes that particularly the choreography behind the fight between Jor and Zod that was astonishingly well. Like Russell Crowe, you know when he's doing that opening fight, the whole kung fui stuff that he's doing, I thought that was really well. And then
I thought the choreography between the one where Superman took on Fiora and her big guy were done really well, because you know when it's always two guys versus one, it has to be done.
yeah,
really well.
that was also another well one. But I'm just saying, also right at the start, one of the things that was like, this, like, Jor-El's a scientist. If anyone reads the comics and stuff like that, they all know that he just talks. But in this, I love the implementation that he can actually fight. And you can actually see him. He actually he beats Zod.
Yeah.
Technically, he beats
You know what's
Zod.
funny?
down to
You
the
know that's
ground.
gonna be used in the hizzy when they do the how it should have ended. They're gonna be like, well, he should have just killed Zod.
Killed
there.
Zod?
Yeah, there and then it's like, oh yeah, done. I can't wait till the hizzy comes out for that.
Alright, so you guys want to get in a rating?
I think it's about time.
Alright, you guys know how we do it. From 0 being the worst to 10 being the best. Tim, let me know what you give this.
I give it a 6. You guys heard my nitpickings earlier, but I think just overall the story, it wasn't as strong as I think it could have been. Like Melvin said before, it wasn't as strong of an origin story as some of the previous superhero films, and so I thought that was a bit of a letdown. But it had nice action scenes. Some of the movements of the Kryptonians during the fight scenes, it looks a little bit strange, but that's just me. Just because you know how they move a lot faster and everything, so it doesn't look as natural as it could be. That's all.
Yeah, makes sense. You want to go next on me, mate?
You can go next.
Alright, I give it a 5.5.
Oh shit, you went down.
I can't give it a 6. I started off with a 5.9 and I've gone down to 5.5 just because, you know, like, I honestly, a lot of superheroes are getting reboots these days, you know. Daredevil's probably going to get another reboot. And
I hope not.
well, he got bought out, he probably is. You know, and the main thing with your first film, the way I see it is, with every franchise, is first film is story because it's origin. Second film is your larger action because you've had your story. And your last film is a combination because it's the final trilogy. That's how every fucking trilogy works. You know?
Did they define this as it's going to be a trilogy?
Every fucking film starts off as a trilogy. You know that. Then they end up making more. That's how it works. It's always a trilogy first.
God, no.
Think about it.
So my
Don't.
look, I like the action sequence. I had some problems with the ending, but the action was cool. And I understand that, and I think people are going to get their money's worth. People are going to enjoy this film. It's just, personally, I was promised an origin story. I didn't get it. 5.5.
Okay. Well, I guess me next.
No, there's Anjo.
Fuck him. I will find him! And his rating... do you guys want to take a guess at what his rating would be?
Anjo.
Yeah.
He's a superhero fan.
He's
He's a fan of action.
He's a fan of action.
So I reckon he'd get like an 8.
I'd say
An
maybe even close to a 9.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe a 9, yeah.
That's a fair amount of action. You even see Superman take on a big machine thing that's technically kryptonite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was well done, by the way.
There's a lot to love in this movie, and for the right at the end when he actually goes to the Daily Planet, I really love that scene for many reasons. One, so mainly because it's like the story's moving forward. He's finally become his identity. Number 2, Lois actually knows who Clark Kent is.
That's so good.
That's one thing that pissed me off in all the other things, is that she never knows who he is and anything like that. And this actually goes, okay, yep, we know it. We're not bullshitting.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, this is right. I love the action. One too many for me. There was a few rendering scenes where I thought a little bit iffy. I still do love that opening scene. That opening, especially right up to the part when he lands on Earth. That opening, wow, that was amazing for me. Because this is David S. Goyer doing the writing and Zack Snyder directing this, especially with S. Goyer's script, I really am thinking a lot back to Batman Begins. Now, that's probably an issue for me, but you know, it's when you have the same writer and you know you're creating a universe,
Yeah.
you kind of have to start thinking these things over. I love that they use the universe. Overall, I'm going to give this movie an 8.
Nate.
An 8.
Alright, that's an average rating of 6.5 from us.
Yeah, only because I love the action.
Did you just open your calculator and...
Yeah. I knew what his rating was, I could do it.
Yeah, he knew I was going to give it an 8. Only because I loved it, and I loved, like, it's long, but the replay you're going to get, even through skipping through scenes when you get this on Blu-ray at the end of the year.
I would like
It's
to
gonna be
say
great.
he liked Superman Returns when it first came out. It took like 6 months to change his opinion.
Oh, shit.
Did I?
Yeah, you bought it on DVD like straight away. You came to school raving about it.
I did? Oh, crap.
What did you become?
Shit that Melvin remembers that I don't. I can't believe I like that movie.
You have it on DVD still, don't you? You
I'm
bought,
sure
you bought the
it's-
tin version, I remember you told me.
Oh, God.
Maybe his rating from Man of Steel will come down soon.
No, now it is what it is. Now he's a Batman fan through and through. He sees Superman like a
Yeah.
normal person.
Yeah.
So what it is what it is now.
What it is an action movie. That's
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for listening, everyone. YouTube.com/Off the Chest Podcast. You can find our Facebook underneath the same one. I hope you guys enjoy this. Hit like, subscribe, give it to your friends. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Cheerio.
Arrivederci.